Hello and assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to yet another podcast. Yes, that's right. This is Raw and Real और आज मैं आपको मिलाने वाली हूँ कुछ दो मेहमानों से. ये दो मेहमान are very dear to me. We've been friends, gosh, I don't know for how long. I think ever since I have been in in Houston, we've been friends ever since then. So without further ado, let's go ahead and head straight to the introduction. Please help me welcome my guest number one, a very dear friend. And I'm just going by who I know from the longest time. And I'll start with BJ Josan. Hey, BJ, how are you?
Hey, guys. Hey, Sam. Thanks for having me here today. Pleasure to be here. Yep. I'm BJ, DJ Impact. My group is DBI, Dolby International. So, yeah, man. Always
I love it.
Here.
Just you start and you start marketing yourself,
I
and
mean,
you're like, I'm.
Let's make it clear.
Let's make it very clear. Of course,
yes.
BJ and I go way back.
Yes.
I think what
early 2000s, probably 2001 or 2.
Yeah, no,
something like that.
No, so I moved 2002 to Houston.
Okay.
So I'd say if not 2002, maybe 2003.
Yeah,
and that's 20
right.
years.
That sounds about right.
That's 20 years of friendship.
Wow. Yes.
So yeah, 20 years of association, 20 years of friendship, and we've both gone through a lot and seen life and. We'll talk some more. But let me go ahead and first introduce my second guest today, and that is another dear friend of mine, Tamim Shakir.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Samya. Truly looking forward to the podcast today.
Thank you so much. And Tamim, of course, it's great having you here. The first one to say yes to come on the show. Tamim, you and I go way back to how long? Like.
If I'm not mistaken, the first, the Kite Festival.
The Basant, right?
The first
You think
Basant
that was it?
Yes.
So maybe 2014?
Yeah, 2014.
13 maybe.
Mm-hmm. So
something like that.
Yes.
At least 10 years,
Yes.
at least. So I've got two friends. एक को तकरीबन 10 नहीं तो 10-12 सालों से मैं जानती हूँ तमीम को. The second one, as you all know, oh my gosh, here you can see how excited I am, from like last 20 years. So we're going to chat about the DJ life. Now, both my friends are DJs, renowned DJs of Houston. They're doing, mashallah, very well in this industry. We're going to talk about the industry. We're just going to talk about their life. And I just wanted to sit and chat क्योंकि मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि जब आप अपने दोस्तों के साथ बैठते हो तो बहुत सारी बातें ऐसी होती हैं जो आप करना चाहते हो. And I think this is an opportunity, like I was talking to another friend of mine, Said Ali, that certain things you can't talk on the radio, right? And I always used to feel very restricted by that. But this is where, we say what we want and we truly speak our minds without holding back. So feel free to curse if you want to.
That's right. Let's do it.
Anyway, so let's क्या कहते हैं मैं हमेशा बात शुरू से शुरू करते हैं. Let's start Let's start with what exactly are you, and we know, of course, you just introduced yourself that you are a DJ and you run your own company, production company. What else do you do, BJ? Let's start.
So, I mean, first and foremost, I'm a husband and I have 2 daughters as well.
Very important.
So, we always have to start with family, right? Yep. Because that's the foundation of everything and that's really the motivation of doing what we do, right?
And I'm sorry, but I'm going to interrupt here for a second. So this is BJ just saying to all the hot girls right there who thought, yes, exactly that. Don't even, no. Oh,
Jesus.
No.
Yes,
Okay, so we made that clear that you're not available.
Wow, thank you.
Are you available, Tamim?
So same here. First and foremost, I am a husband and a father of 3 beautiful boys.
Yes,
Jesus,
mashallah.
man.
Yeah,
Are we
3 boys
competing
here.
What's going on?
2 girls here,
I
3 boys here. There you go. Rishta pakka.
Respect, man. No, man.
This is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about work-life balance, right? Yep. And life consists of everything we do, and then work is, our main focus, which is DJ life, right?
Yeah.
But besides that, I'm also a real estate agent. So real estate is kind of mainly focused during the week, and then weekends are designated to wedding clients. But being an entrepreneur, life is 24 hours a day. Business is nonstop the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep. So that's kind of a gist of everything, you know, between real estate, DJing, family life. I also have a company called Bacha Party. We design some baby clothes, Desi inspired
Yes.
baby clothes. We have baby dolls that we ship out. So a lot going on with juggling all those things. It's insane. And we also
and
work
we're
on-
going to come
Yeah.
to that, how you manage all
Okay.
those things.
Cool.
And for everyone watching, yes, of course, these are my friends since ages, and I do know what they do. But this is for y'all to know that why they're here, because you know, my podcast is about stories. Everyone has a story. And sure, you know, with all sorts of stories out there, from love to tragic to, I feel these are motivational and inspiring stories. You know, I want guys and men who are watching out there to know that how they can be married, or they can have children, and they can have other businesses or other careers and still pursue their passion, which I feel is the main reason why we become DJs, is because of the passion that we have. So
Yeah,
coming to you,
to
Tamim.
be like absolutely like honest, one of the reasons that whatever I am today, I think it is because of the fact that I married very young. I have 3 boys, and when I had my first son, Ayan, shout out Ayan. That time I used to manage a hall, and I used to work 6 days a week, and I was like, man, I'm barely spending any time with my son. That is what motivated me to kind of like explore with the whole entrepreneurship and try to figure something else out, and that's what led me to like the event industry, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want also my viewers to know that, you know what else is beautiful about this right now? I'm from Pakistan, for those who didn't know. Tamim here is from Afghanistan, and BJ here is from India, Punjab.
Yep.
And that is so wonderful because हम लोग जब सब मिलके बैठते हैं और जब बातें और गप्पे लगाते हैं ना, believe me, हमें कोई पता ही नहीं होता. There's
Right.
like, we really can't, like, we never are able to like say, or you know, और ऐसा नहीं है कि हम लोग जैसे अगर cricket match होगा, believe me, we'll have fights here. You know, when it comes to cricket, it'll be like, no, it's India or Pakistan or Afghanistan. Lekin it's all good, and I want people, or you know, all the viewers who are watching, I hope they get inspired by that, because I still see few people still trying to promote negativity and
And
toxicity
separation,
and you know all those
I think
stuff.
that would always be there in every.
And I hope people like us can, you know, just stop that. So let's
Definitely.
get to the straight to the point of how and why did y'all become a DJ?
Yeah, so I'll start there first. I'll say it was out of necessity, okay? Honestly, when I was growing up, this is when I was in high school, and I kind of got into and interested in Punjabi music mainly.
Yeah.
And we would go to all our little hall parties in our community center and stuff like that. And you know what the thing was that I noticed is in those days, there was no DJs. There was no Punjabi DJs in my community.
Yeah.
People would bring their boombox from home. They would press play on the tape. They would play a song, and then people would dance, and then there would be 30 seconds of silence while someone picked out the tape, flipped it over, rewinded it, and people are standing around waiting for the next song to start. And I was like, guys, there has got to be something better than this. Anything can be better, you know? So, you know, I just saw that there was just a need for it, right? And I was like, you know, I talked to my mom, and I got permission. She bought me some speakers and stuff like that. And my first event that I did was when I was like, it was like 1995. And it was a birthday party, right? And it was in a
Nice,
hall,
wow.
and I brought my stuff out, and people, I mean, I guess I can actually say that I was the first Punjabi DJ. I don't think there was any Punjabi DJs before that in Houston at that time. So that was, like I said, it was out of necessity. It wasn't even like something, I was definitely passionate about it, but I
Yeah.
didn't know where it could lead to. I was just doing it because I was like, you know what, in my mind, you know, business ideas, I think, are born a lot of times from necessity. It's like
Yes.
you find a need and you're like, how can I fulfill this need, right? So that's kind of where that came from. That's how I started. Yeah.
Yeah, so just so y'all know that he's talking about cassettes and rewind and all that. Sorry, I take my words back. We're not that old friends. We're just like, I don't know what years.
Tape decks, guys, not
Oh my
CD
God.
players.
You
not-
remember those
no
cassettes would
MP3s.
get stuck and you'd put like a pencil or a pen inside and like
Yes,
fix it and whatever.
exactly,
I'm
yeah.
talking about him. I'm not talking about me.
Right.
Yeah, whatever. But I feel like you're talking and I'm like, okay, I think there are a lot of firsts because I think you're the first Afghani DJ here in Houston, right?
So, BJ actually is one of the reasons that I got into the field, to be honest with you.
Whoa.
So, like I mentioned, I used to manage halls
Yes.
before, and one time there was a Sangeet event, and BJ was a DJ, and he had two dole players with him, Jubji and I still remember that day like it was yesterday. He had Jubji and Gurkran with him. And the sound of the dole, it was just I fell in love with that instrument like on the spot, and actually started off with dole for a couple of years.
True, yes.
And the dole led me to Samia, how I ended up doing one of her first
Basant Side
events.
Festival, yeah.
And then from there, like you said, necessity is the mother of invention. So I
True.
was doing dole gigs for a very long time. Although I wasn't that good at dole,
Yeah.
I was like, all right, let me see what else I can, mess around with. And after I had my son born, I was spending like 70 hours a week on work. I used to go to work when my son was sleeping. I used to come home when he's sleeping.
Yeah.
So, and I love them. I love my kids like too much. So that's what ended up like, leading me to like get into DJing. And then that ended up being my full-time thing within like a couple of years. So
That is true, and I've seen that growth of yours, Tamim. Like, and I'm sure BJ, you have too. Like,
100%.
this guy when he first started, and he's so right about it because when he first started with Dole, he was okay with that. Even as a DJ, we all have been like, look who's talking, not like I've got some mad skills over here, but then I always have said this that the way Tamim you. Like stayed focused and you paid attention and you really improved your skills. You kept on working on it. That's
That
just
means a lot.
something.
Thank you so much.
No, that's something commendable.
And that said, if anybody has videos of me playing dole from back in the days, delete it. Not post it anywhere.
No, I think in those days we would just take pictures. It wasn't much about
Right.
videos
Thank
at that
God.
time.
Thank God.
Yeah.
But hey, man, we all
Yeah.
start somewhere. you
We
know,
all
and that's the
do.
thing,
So
and-
we've got the
yeah.
first Punjabi DJ here of Houston. Of course, we're just talking about Houston, Texas over here. We've got the first Afghan DJ here, and then the first female DJ, Desi female DJ here.
100%.
So all three of us have been
Yes.
first. BJ, so I want to ask, of course, both of you this. How do your families take this now? Now that
Right.
it is, as you started in the beginning, okay, it's always like, acha shauk hai, kar liya shauk mein, hobby hai ye wo. But to actually make it career and mashallah make money from it and run your homes with it, did your family take it seriously? Do they still ever tell you, like, do something or what else are you going to do? Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I mean, let me start. First of all, I'm old enough to where my family really can't say anything, right? So, my parents, of course, they,
Going back to the fact where he said he took permission from his mom to be a DJ.
exactly. So, I mean, luckily, I was very fortunate. At the very beginning, I had their support 100% from the very beginning, right? They were like, hey, if this is something you want to do, then, for fun, cool. Your focus still needs to be on education, but if this is something you're passionate about, we'll help you out. And I was really blessed to have that backing and support because other people in the industry or people that I knew at that time, they didn't have that support, right? So it really means a lot to have that. And now, of course, I think one of the most important things in this industry, and we can talk about this a little more in detail, but is having your spouse or your significant other be your backbone in this industry.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think you can survive in the wedding industry if you don't have that support.
True.
If you don't have your significant other kind of supporting you, backing you up, egging you on, and just being there for you, managing everything at the house. It's crazy juggling all these things that we do, and if we didn't have that support, it wouldn't be possible.
Like these late
So,
nights
yeah.
and it's not always a wedding. Sometimes
100%.
it's like private parties and club events and
Yep.
stuff. How do wives see that? Like these late nights and stuff.
It takes a lot. So I actually had a complete opposite experience. My family did not support me in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because to them, they were like, what is going on? Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
It does not make any sense. And also, like, the community that I belong to, the Afghani community, they not necessarily, they don't really support artists as much,
Sure,
and they
yeah.
don't really look up, like they don't really value what they bring to
I
the
think
table.
we all probably
Yeah.
Desi
So,
all are
when
like
I
that,
started
yeah.
off, to be honest, even like myself, I didn't see where it would end
Seriously,
up.
Right.
But
yeah.
I don't know, a part of me just didn't want to let go of it. I guess
Yeah.
it was just the passion that was there.
Yeah.
And I struggled for a good couple of years. And shout out to my wife, she struggled with me like throughout. And there was times where I was like, you know what, I need to sell all the last equipment and just focus on a completely different career.
Yeah.
And then a part of me was like, but this is you, this is yours. You can always go get a job. You can always go do this. You can always go do that. And when I looked at the pictures and videos of like, the previous events and over the years, even, doesn't matter how small the improvement was, I could see it and I really cherished it. And
Yeah.
it meant a lot to me. So I was like, you know what? No one's supporting me right now. I don't, really get the motivation that I need. But I was like, if I can motivate myself, hopefully down the line, they can see it as well. And it actually ended up, being that. After a couple of years, once it became a regular thing, my family, especially my in-laws, because first they were like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Right.
So they ended up, actually appreciating, and now they actually, they respect it, and now that they, the money is coming in, so you already know.
That's the thing. See,
Yeah.
when the money comes in, then
it's real.
Then it's
Then it's
real.
something-
Yeah, that's
yeah.
what. Because I was just going, I was like, how did your in-laws? Because oh, ना like मुंडा की करता है,
Yeah,
मुंडा
yeah.
की, music बजांदा है, DJ करता है,
Right.
एक ही career तो नहीं हैगा, they
Right.
talk like
Right.
that and
Oh,
stuff.
I got that.
100%.
Get a real job.
Yeah.
For years.
Yes.
Get a real job. Well,
I mean,
you know.
that's our Desi community. That's Desi mentality, right? Like over the years, like arts and music have not been something where people see it as like an actual career path, right? It's just
True.
something for fun, whatever, right? But can you make a real career out of it? Well, I think we're showing people that you can, right?
Dude, my dad still tells me, like even last week, and he was like, why don't you find like a real job? And I'm like, are you for real? Like, what's wrong with you?
Right.
Like, or what makes you think now that I will be able to do like a 9 to 5? I can't, Dad. Like, don't you get it? Not that there's anything wrong, by the way, for those who work 9 to 5. I'm not trying to disrespect you in any way. It's just, it's not just for some people. That's all.
And
That's
to
all
go
we're
back
saying,
to the spouses, honestly, I don't think they get the credit that they deserve. Because, like you mentioned,
100%.
we would not be anywhere where we are right now without their support. Because,
Definitely.
say if you have a 2 event in one weekend, like people normally just see us the couple of hours during the event, but I have done events with BJ as well where there's like a whole day, like, during the weekday where
absolutely.
you're preparing.
Yeah.
And he travels a lot as well. So,
Yeah.
like,
Right.
accounting that and the setup time, the breakdown time, the planning and all that stuff, it actually ends up being way more than 40 hours a week.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
your family.
A lot of people think that, oh, you'll just be here for 4
Yeah.
hours or 5 hours, but they don't understand the
and,
whole setup
our
and the
families,
breakdown.
Our families, like, they sacrifice holidays because any holiday, any long weekend,
big
we
business
get to
season.
work, and then my
Yeah.
wife is with the kids, so
Yeah.
shout out to the wives.
True.
Definitely. 100%.
Well,
man.
this is
Just-
so sweet. I
yeah.
mean, that you guys are like sharing all this, saying all these lovey-dovey things. But I do want to know, how do the wives feel when it's late night club events or parties and there are all these girls around?
I think
and-
the fact that we do mostly weddings kind of answers that question.
No, that is now. But there were parties before.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm sure there are issues
yeah.
with that
No,
too.
I think anyone in this industry deals with the same thing, right? There's insecurities
Of
and
course,
all that
yeah.
stuff. But that's what it comes down to. Back to what I was saying about having that backing and support at home. It's like you have to have that trust and that loyalty and that
Absolutely,
confidence
absolutely.
in each other, right? And that has to be. I think it has to be made like I'm not sure how long you guys were together, but with me, like I was already in the business when I started dating my wife, right? And my now wife. And when we were dating, it was like, I kind of explained to her my lifestyle, everything, and all that. But I was like, hey, you're here for me, I'll be here for you, and that's it. We're gonna, ride.
No,
ride
and
together.
mashallah, that's great. And this is just me just trying to create some controversy over here.
So
just
with me
doing
again,
that.
is the total opposite, because when I met my wife, I was just getting started, so I didn't even know what to tell her because I didn't know what was going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, in the beginning, I'm pretty sure. Again, I love her so much, and I really appreciate the fact that she was so patient. Because now looking back, there was definitely some, some parts where it probably didn't make sense to her.
Yeah.
Like, why are you doing club events?
Yeah.
For example, right? But then she didn't see the whole promotion part of it. And
Exactly. That's really the main reason why anyone does, why any DJ does.
So with me
that,
and my wife, we got married when I was 19. So it's about 13 years now.
Right.
Been married for 13 years, mashallah.
And
Congrats, bro.
it's been. I honestly consider her. I mean, she is like my teammate, pretty much.
Yeah,
We do
of
everything
course,
as a
of
team.
course,
So if
yeah.
I take care of like this part of it, she does something else.
No,
as well.
and the reason I even ask this is because, a lot of times people have this perception, right? There are certain jobs in this world or careers that people have this perception
Yep.
of, if you were a DJ, that just means,
I think the
alcohol
insecurity
and drugs
comes from
and
the
girls
community and
yeah.
from like relatives. So like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure like her friends or like her family.
But it's not just that, right? So,
Right.
like I said, for my parents, like even my parents, they're just like even my mother, she was like, तुम क्लब जाओगी वहाँ पे डीजे करोगी या कहाँ पे लोगों की शादियों पे करोगी and she was like वहाँ पे drugs होते हैं वहाँ पे आदमी होते हैं and stuff because in their mind,
it's
वो
something,
एक movie Bollywood movies होती है
Right.
ना, those secret movies, everyone's just like.
No, I mean, if we're being raw and real,
That
which
they're
the
like
show is
orgies
about.
going on or something, and you're like,
Yeah.
Mom, that's not happening.
Right,
It's
right.
not.
And even
trust
if
me.
it is, I'm not a part of it.
Yes, exactly.
No, but let's be honest, right, guys? This does happen in our industry,
It
right?
does.
Of course
it's not
it
like
does.
it doesn't
It's-
happen.
yeah,
So,
yeah, of course.
And that's the thing. It's all about having control. It's all about making the right choices, right? And I think it is. I mean, it's something to be aware about because a lot of times when you're in the industry, you do meet people who go down the wrong path.
Oh, absolutely.
And you're around a lot of temptation, right? And that's the whole thing about having control and staying focused on your goal here, right? In our events, we're around alcohol. We're around whatever. I mean, drugs are just prevalent. You can pretty much get drugs wherever you want,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's a matter of just not being, just having control and avoiding those
Of
situations.
yourself. It's
Yeah,
just having,
100%,
that's
100%.
that's true. Honestly, if you have a family member who's a DJ or in this industry, remember it's that person and their self-control and their determination.
right.
It's not that everyone's just doing. They're like BJ said, there are people who do that kind of stuff, but it doesn't mean that everyone is
Exactly,
necessarily doing the
exactly.
same thing. Let's talk about the wedding industry here now.
Well, real
We're
quick, can
like-
I just finish? So first of all,
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
Punjabi, right? So here's the thing, man. The one thing I always get is, "Tu Punjabi hai, tu kyun pinda nahi kyun?" Right? Like, first
Yeah,
of all,
that's
I'm like,
true.
man, when I'm working. First of all, we have a rule within our company,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We're not going to drink when we're working, right?
Yes.
We want to make sure the event's a success. Our clients are number one priority, right? But being Punjabi, it's like we're being offered drinks all the time,
True.
and it's just like, if you're not drinking, it's like, what's wrong with you?
Yes,
Right? So that's
yes.
the perception, right? And I don't know. I mean, I've just worked hard to kind of change that perception a little bit because I'm like, yo, that's fine. You guys do what you want. We want to make sure everyone has a good time. We're not, you do, you live your life. You be happy. You celebrate the way you want, right?
Yeah.
But, don't imply that on us. We're gonna do what we're here to do. So
Yeah.
And honestly, people like BJ and them that's why people look up to them and they basically like influence so many people because when you meet a lot of DJs, you have a different perspective. But then once you meet the pros in the game,
Yeah.
you actually see like, all right, so they're not doing this the way that
They're not in for the party
Yeah, yeah.
or whatever. They're
And
in
that
for the glamour.
honestly-
They're actually it's a
yeah,
career, it's a
so-
profession.
honestly, like I give everything that so far that I have accomplished to him and Scoop and a couple of other DJs
Of course,
that
yes.
that kind of like lay the pad out for you
Yeah,
to follow.
yeah.
Because you already know that, hey, if I do what these other DJs have done and I have seen where they ended up going versus if you follow the path that they're on and how they, because I have done events with BJ and his crew, the DBI team. Doesn't matter where the party is, it's professional.
Yeah,
To the
yeah,
dot.
yeah,
It
true.
doesn't matter if you're at a club, if you're at a wedding, the level of professionalism is right there.
And
Respect,
you
bro.
know what?
Thank
don't take us wrong. It's not that it's not fun.
And
It's
it's
a
very-
lot
yeah.
of
Oh,
fun.
yeah, 100%,
It's a lot of
100%.
fun. And hey, if you want to party, sure, there is a lot of partying. If you are in for the glamour, yes, there is glamour as well. There's all those things are there. But then at the end of the day, if you are serious about your work, about your passion, if you're planning to make it your career, then you have to be a professional. I think that's
100%,
where we all
100%.
agree. Having said this, you talked about if you're a Punjabi. So I remember this one crazy, and I want y'all to share something crazy that you remember.
Okay.
I'll start. So there was this one private Punjabi party that it was very early in my career as a DJ that I did. And so it's of course a family event, and I'm there, and and they're like, of course now. When I say Punjabi, I mean like of course Indian Punjabi,
sure.
just to clarify to the viewers. So children, of course, now the party has reached a certain time, a certain moment when it's like it's the hype, it's crazy. And then they started. Now they have a habit of if they want to listen to a song repeatedly, they'll tip you.
Yep.
Acha, this was my very first time, and I was like seriously offended because it'd be like, they'd put in $20 or whatever, and it's like, here, play my song, and I'm like, sir, I'll play your song. You don't have to pay. You've already paid me. You don't have to tip me, right?
Right.
I'm not a server or anything. And they're like, oh, nahi, koi nahi hai, rakh tu.
Right.
वो प्यार में दे रहे थे,
Yeah.
वो मुझे offend नहीं कर रहे थे. They were not trying to disrespect me. अच्छा मुझे समझ नहीं आ रही, obviously, and I should have spoken to at least one of you or something how the Punjabi
Right.
parties are. So I'm like, नहीं, मुझे नहीं. They're like, एक आए V the note, एक आए 5 का 10 का. And I'm like, what is this going on? I'm not here, I don't want these tips over here. I've already got paid. But then they got so drunk, and then they're like falling over the laptop. And I literally went like this. And the women noticed, they were like, oh my God, she's traumatized. And they're like, chal bas tu hun band kar de. And they're like, oh nahi, hale hor gana and stuff. And I left. After that, I'm like, never doing a private party again. That was just nahi. It was just my first time. To thoda sa trauma tha. And I still remember
It
that.
is tough, man.
It's tough.
The hardest crowd to deal with
Yes.
is my own people. It's my own people, man.
They
I'm
were
Punjabi,
hard. I'm not going to lie.
right?
They were hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
The hardcore Punjabis that come and all they want to hear is traditional Punjabi music, right? I mean, so you told your crazy story. Mine's kind of similar, Sam. So basically, I had one event, and this is early on in my career too, right? Like early, mid 2000s, right? Punjabi wedding reception. Everything's amazing. Everyone's having a good time. End of the night, the couple is like, hey, let's shut down the party. Typical Punjabi fashion. One more song.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Let's
Yeah.
keep it going. A couple more. Next thing I know, there's just a group of younger guys, right? And I'm like, all right, that's cool, whatever. We'll make them happy. We played a couple of more songs, and then I stopped the music. Bride and groom are like, all right, time to go home. Everyone go home, right?
Yeah.
Those guys kicked out the bride and groom.
What?
Yes, there were like 10 guys. They were kind of like, I'm not going to say like a gang, but they were kind of, right? Whatever
yeah.
you want to call it, right? So they kicked out the bride and groom. And now I'm like, okay, the family's still here. The family's going to shut down the party. I'm ready to go home. It's like 1 a.m. I'm tired, right? They kicked out the family. They made the family leave.
And now it's just them.
Yeah, and now, well, no, then there was like some other people there, and then all the guests are gone. Basically, they kicked out all the guests. Then security comes.
Okay.
The hall manager came first, right? So the hall manager comes, and he's like, guys, sorry, we have to go home. BJ shut off the music. And I'm like, all right, bro. I mean, you deal with them.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go home.
Yeah.
And I was by myself at that point,
Yeah.
right? So he tried his best. They beat him up, and they kicked him out. Next thing you know, the security comes. And I'm like, all right, finally, I get to go home. It's like 1:30, 1:45
Yeah.
now at this point. They beat him up.
Oh my
So
God.
then I'm stuck there by myself, and I'm like, all right, either I make them happy, or I'm most likely going to get beat up, or something's
well.
going to go down, right?
Yeah.
Something's going to go down. I was like, let me try to make the best of the situation. I ended up playing like the same 3 songs for the next 2 hours.
Yeah.
And until they kind of passed out, I got drunk, and then I passed out.
Oh
But
my
It was
God.
such a crazy night, and I was like, all right, after this, I'm going to need security with me at every
At
party.
I
But-
need to shut down and stuff.
Yeah.
But not saying Punjabi is like, hey, I'm a Punjabi too, just from the other side of the border.
Sure.
But it's just they're sweethearts and they just want to have fun. The problem is that they want to have fun. That's the
problem.
Yeah, they don't want to stop. That's the only problem. Well, do you have a crazy story?
So, mine is pretty much like almost in the same category,
Yeah.
same everything.
They don't want to stop.
So this is from like when I used to play dole mostly, and I believe it was Gio or somebody else who was DJing, and it was a Punjabi lady sangeet.
Okay.
And then this uncle comes, and he's actually tipping good, so like $100 bills, and
Yeah.
the only song he wanted was Apna Punjab.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So I remember
Of
playing
course.
dole to Apna Punjab like 4 or 5 times back to back
Yeah.
in repeat, and then eventually the ladies are complaining, so the DJ changes the song to something else, and a fight breaks out. So he ends up pulling the whole DJ, the table, the laptop, everything comes down,
Wow.
and then a fight breaks out, and then some other guy pulls out a gun. And there was a poor
Jesus.
security guy at the hall as well.
Yeah.
He probably didn't know what to do.
Yeah. probably.
He had a gun too, and he was just looking around, and he was just slowly walking
Yeah,
back. Let me
it's
just
like,
sneak out of here.
yeah.
Yeah.
No one wants to get into the
Nobody
trouble.
wants- yeah.
We get these crazy stories, and
Yes.
actually people don't understand. it's not just fun and glamour
Yeah.
That's
being a
right,
DJ.
that's right. No,
We deal
it's-
with a lot of
Yeah.
stuff. There are a lot of things that happen, and certain things that you're not even ready for. You know, no matter what your training is, things that you learn as you go.
definitely.
There can be issues that happen at setup. I remember earlier in my days where everything's set up, everything's good to go. The party started, the wedding started. I don't have sound. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's wrong. It's just I'm missing just clicking that one button that I'm calling Scoop, I'm calling BJ, I'm calling like, guys, what do I do? Where is it? It's like, did you turn that on? Oh yeah, okay, never mind.
But honestly,
sorry.
I don't know if it's just me, but over the last couple of years, the wedding or general like party scene has like improved a lot. So
Yeah.
I see a whole lot less violence, a whole lot less everything. in my
How is
opinion.
what
It's
about the
getting
wedding
much better.
industry? Tell me about that. How has that, because that has changed drastically.
Definitely.
And I
I
think a
mean-
lot after COVID, right?
I think sorry for cutting
No,
off.
go
So I think it's the wedding industry has grown. People are investing a lot more money into it, and that
Okay.
I think is the main reason why
Really?
things have.
Because
there's a
during COVID
lot
and
of
after
money that goes
COVID,
in.
there was this talk about like not spending a lot and maybe having
So-
smaller weddings. But I feel it's the opposite now.
I mean,
right?
I think that was just during COVID.
Yeah.
That was
Okay.
during COVID when people really couldn't have big events and they had to limit their crowds and their guest count, right? But I mean, Sam, the production value is always changing, right?
Yes.
And I mean, you think like, I've been in the industry for 20 plus years. At some point you think like, okay, this is it. It can't get bigger than this.
Yeah.
And then some new service comes out. Things are getting bigger and crazier. And it's a
I
full
mean,
out
even
production.
the brides and the grooms, they make those entrances. Like before, it was a big deal of just the groom coming in a sports car
sure.
or something. But now there's like, it's not even horses and elephants
It's
anymore.
helicopters, everything.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Helicopters
When I
and
used to-
stuff, yeah.
When I
Yeah.
used to manage like banquet halls, I remember majority of the DJs would have 2 speakers, maybe 1 or 2 lights.
Yeah.
And that was the
Yeah.
entertainment.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now it's like for a
whole,
wedding,
like, a
it's a
production,
whole
right?
It's a whole
Concert
production.
production.
Yeah.
With screens and like you name it, it happens.
And they
for
want
sure.
all those moving heads
Yep.
and they want like it's crazy stuff that people want. I've seen videos out of like India and Pakistan. There's like a flower and the petal opens up and the bride comes out.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
there's like bride and
It's
grooms
a-
like coming like making those Akshay Kumar entrances and like what boats happening little
definitely.
thing that's crazy.
No, it's next level.
So-
And everyone's always
But
trying
there's
to...
a lot of good money then.
Well,
Let's
of
be
course.
honest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
but
money's
the thing is with weddings, everyone's trying to top the other one, right? So
Yeah.
one wedding happens and everyone's like, all right, what can we do to make our wedding
Our
that's
wedding
coming up
bigger
better
than-
than this,
yeah.
better than this, whatever the case. So, which is in a good way, I mean, I guess in that sense the competition is healthy and it's great for us because we're always there to accommodate for these
Yeah.
type of things. But the scene definitely has changed. It's always evolving. It's getting bigger and bigger. I think since COVID. It's definitely gotten even bigger. I think social media has become such a big influencer of all these things, and it's affecting the way that
True,
everyone thinks.
true.
Sometimes now people are like, "Oh, I'm not just doing this because of my wedding and the people are there. I want to show on social media what's going on." Right?
Instagrammable,
So,
like
yeah, so that's
pictures
kinda
and
what's-
videos, and they definitely want to do one up on everything.
For sure.
But talking about competition, how's the competition here? Because in Houston, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, maybe you both can correct me. We probably have about 30 DJs,
Probably
25
around 30.
to 30
yeah.
DJs,
I think
right?
like 30 ones. that
if
are
not
continuously
30,
doing it, yeah.
somewhere around maybe 20,
Yep.
between 20 to 30 DJs,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
And yet we see that every weekend, every single DJ is busy.
Yeah,
Everyone's
pretty
got
much.
their own share.
Yeah.
I know there was a time, let's be honest, let's address that elephant in the room, that there was a time when there was serious competition in Houston with all the DJs and people were cutting each other off and taking away other people's business. But I believe, or so it seems to me, maybe I'm wrong, that with so many people that have moved to Houston, I think there's enough business for everyone.
Honestly,
I don't know.
I disagree. I think even
Really?
from back in the days, the DJ community, from all the vendors and all the other businesses that I am aware of, is the only industry where it felt like a community. You actually got a lot of support. Like you just
Okay.
mentioned, if you had troubles at your event, you can always call BJ. You can
Oh,
always
for
call.
sure. For
And
sure. Yeah.
I have been in the same situations where I'm having I need something, and I always end up calling them. I consider them my friends, even though
Sure.
in a way we're competing
Right.
as
Yeah,
well.
but
right?
there are times you have helped me.
Yeah.
There's something goes wrong,
and
it's
that's
just like, what
something
do you
that's
do?
very unique about the DJ community.
No, that's something
Yeah.
for sure. That's there.
Definitely.
And then
and-
besides that, I think in Houston, obviously the population growth is one of them, but a lot of the DJs like BJ over here, like they go all over the place. So
Yeah.
it's not just Houston anymore.
Definitely.
It's like the Houston vendors cover Austin, San Antonio,
Right.
Dallas,
Yeah,
different states,
Yeah.
different cities as
Yeah.
well.
So
That-
I'll,
that
I'll
has-
comment a little bit on the competition side, right? So one thing I've always kind of pitched to myself, my group, and my team is like, we're not competing with anyone.
Yeah.
We're only competing within ourselves,
True,
right? We're only
true.
trying to get better within ourselves, whatever we can do. Don't worry about what anyone else is doing. It's like a lot of people are just like, oh, this guy's doing this, we should do that. This guy, I'm like, yo, don't listen to that. Just improve what you're doing right now, right?
Yeah.
Of course, we have to, answer and make sure we're taking care of our clients. Of course, if our clients want something, we take care of it, right? But I think as far as competition goes, that's been our mindset, right? And that's been one thing we've been really successful with, in that sense. Now, within competition, as far as the industry goes, there's always been good times and bad times, right? I think right now, honestly, because of COVID, because of the whole situation where weddings were not happening for a while, this is kind of like a golden era right now. This has
True,
been
true.
the busiest wedding season of I think ever. I think 2021 was the busiest ever, and now we're still, feeling that up till 2023. But Sam, I think what you were saying was, there was a point where there wasn't that many events going on. People were kind of hustling a little harder to book events and undercutting and all that stuff. But it happens. I think in every industry that happens. But
but it has changed. I do
Yeah,
agree with you. It
100%.
has. There was definitely that. I mean, I remember that a couple of years ago, and this was, I'm not going to say recent couple of years, a while back,
Yeah.
where there was that,
Definitely.
that kind of competition. But all that has changed a lot. Now, it could be anyone. It's not just me. It could be anyone. And like I said, there have been times where it's like, okay, you know what? I'm in the area. Give me a couple of minutes. Let me do my setup, and I'll be there to help you out and do
Right.
this or drop
Right.
that off or whatever. And I think it is wonderful that we have this big community.
And one other thing that kind of like is different about, because I have been in the wedding industry, I have been in the hall side of it, I have been in the like different
Catering
vendors as
side
well.
too, yeah.
So the product that we're selling, in a way, is ourselves.
Yes.
So when it comes to like undercutting, like if I, for example, give a discount on a hall, right? I don't have no personal connection to it. But then if
True.
I give that same discount on a DJ service, it's like I'm basically not valuing myself to
True.
that amount as
True,
well. So
true.
that in a way kind of like separates it also. So when it comes to like competition, honestly, I don't think a lot of DJs care about another DJ giving it for cheaper.
Yeah, no,
Like,
that
they
has
don't-
changed a lot
that-
too.
they don't
that
really-
has
yeah.
changed a lot. That also used to happen where there was a lot of the pricing or the
Yeah.
bargaining that was going on, and that has completely changed. Now,
Yeah.
I think everyone has their price or has realized that they have that value.
Yep.
So if you like it, you like
Yeah.
it, and if you don't, you know what? Tough luck.
Right,
That's
right,
it. We're not going to do it. And I think that's also because, again, we have so much business now. So
Right.
everyone's like, okay.
And even from a like customer's perspective, like if a client goes to BJ and he's like X amount of dollars, right? And they come to me, and if I give them like a Y amount, they might be like, "Why are you like this much cheaper?"
Yeah.
Right. It actually, they end up questioning it themselves.
Right.
They're like,
Yeah.
that doesn't make sense to me anymore, because now you're providing me the exact same thing, but then you're giving me a less amount.
Right.
So
And-
more informed customers too.
Definitely,
and I think a,
definitely.
and a
and I
lot
think
of
the
business,
brand
yeah.
also helps. The brand really helps. as
No,
well.
absolutely, I agree with that.
I mean,
So-
I think one thing, just to piggyback on what you're saying, Tamim, is that everyone has their own way of doing things, right? Our philosophy is just we price it according to what's worth it for us,
Yeah.
right? According to the event, we customize everything. We don't have any kind of base packages. We don't have any just template packages. Okay, here's a package for this event, right? Everything is customized to that event, to the timings, to whatever specifics, sound and lighting, whatever the whole production is needed, right? So everything is really customized. So I think it's different for everyone, but and we're not saying any company is right or wrong. The way they do their business, whatever's working for you, go for
True.
it. But I think that's just kind of what it comes down to for us, is just what's worth it for us. That's the way we price accordingly. And like I said, once again, we're not judging it on what anyone else is doing.
Absolutely.
And
or
I
what anyone
like
else
it
is
when
charging.
sometimes people just they text or they'll send you a message and they'd be like, "So what are your charges?"
Yeah.
And you're like,
Without any details.
Okay.
Yes, guys. Pet peeve right there.
exactly.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
Yes.
And you're like, okay, date.
Yep,
Maybe I'm
yep.
not even available.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, okay, and
Yeah.
what do you need? What is this for? They
What
think
makes me chuckle is when they ask like, hourly, and you're like, hourly? What
Yeah.
are we
No,
still
you
talking
know
about DJ
what's funny?
services here?
You know?
They think, so when you ask them what kind of an event
Yeah.
or how many guests, you're just trying to understand the
Yeah.
event.
Yes.
They think, oh, if you tell them, if they have like 500 guests, but if they're going to tell us 50, it's going to make a difference to the price. And
Right.
you're like, okay, understand the concept. I'm still doing my job. I'm still entertaining your 50 or 500 guests. I'm just trying to understand what you're expecting
sure.
from me, right?
sure.
So let's talk about the clubs, and then let's talk about the wedding industry.
Okay.
So what do y'all think?
So-
What are your pet peeves?
The club, in my opinion, right?
Or maybe it's the same, both.
No, completely
definitely
different.
Different.
Completely
Definitely
different. So like the wedding industry will be more of your regular like money making side of the business, right?
Yeah.
And then the club is, so as DJs, we're not just businessmen. We're not just selling your product. Like I said, there's a lot of passion that goes into it. Like
True.
BJ, I don't know if you've ever seen him like perform live. It mesmerizes
Yeah,
you, right? There's
yeah.
a lot of art that goes into it, and you
Yeah.
can see the passion.
And he's very
So
different. You see
every
him at a
time
wedding,
that
you see him at a this
absolutely.
thing
So the
club.
club events are more of like, hey, I want to go out and just do me.
I'll
Yeah.
tip
I wanna
you
just go
both
and
after the show.
Yeah.
I'll tip you
I
both
want to
after
go
the
and
show. Thank
perform
you.
like the way I want to perform.
Yeah.
And then the club event is not about you anymore. It's
Right.
about the wedding event is
event
not
is
about
not
you.
about
It's
you.
about the bride and groom and making
True.
sure you kind of like cover their vision.
Yeah,
properly.
yeah, true.
No, I definitely think it's two different completely experiences for sure. I think the clubs is where you kind of come in and you do whatever you want
Yeah.
90% of the time, right? Of course, you're going to get requests and stuff like that, but you're kind of running the show. And I think a lot of times the club promoter will be booking you because of the vibe that you're going to bring, because of
Absolutely.
the crowd that you're going to bring.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different kind of elements that come with club events, right? With weddings, it's a completely different thing. You know, sometimes the people have seen you before, sometimes they haven't seen you before.
Yeah.
And they're relying on your expertise, they're relying on your reputation and all that stuff. So it's definitely different. Pet peeves, though, definitely, Samia, like what you were talking about earlier. When you just get inquiries and they don't give you any information, it's like, guys, we need some details to kind of put together a package for you. Like, you know, same thing with us, like what I talked about. It's like everything is customized to your event, right? There's no like template. There's no just like one package price
Yeah.
for stuff. So that's definitely a pet peeve. I would say another thing is some clients just think, hey, we're going to show up the day of the event and then tell the DJ our first
Yeah.
song.
Oh,
we're going to
yeah.
tell them,
Yes,
you know, our
yes.
stuff that day. Guys, we need this stuff in advance. We want
Yeah.
to be prepared for you. You know, it's like one thing I tell clients is that it's a team effort. It's not just us. And, you know, we're working with you guys. We're working with the coordinators. We're working with the venue people. We're working with decor. It's a team effort. And a lot of people don't realize that. They just think we're going to come in. You know what? We can tell the DJ whatever we want later. They're just going to throw it in the mix. And
Or,
it's very
or
simple.
sometimes they don't even have their entrance songs, and they're like,
Yeah.
just play whatever you want.
Right.
And you're like, okay, well, it's your entrance song. What if you don't like it? Or,
So,
you know?
Yeah, but sometimes that's better. Like if they just say play whatever you want, fine. But don't come to me 2 minutes before you're about to enter and say pick a song,
Yes,
right?
yeah. Yes.
So that becomes the the situation where like give us a little bit of control. That's fine, but at the same time we want to be prepared and we want you guys to be prepared as well.
Absolutely.
So like I said, team effort.
Is it really hot in here? It's me.
It's good. Yeah. I'm good.
Really? So it's probably me.
And another thing is
maybe
so-
it's you guys.
Another thing that really that I noticed changed a lot in the wedding industry. So when I started off, I remember the parents were the ones that were booking.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
The parents were the
But
ones
now
that
it's
were
the bride and the
inquiring.
groom
Yes.
getting
Now
more
you
involved.
don't. You only
Yeah.
meet the parents the day of the event. Now
Yeah.
it's the couple that are basically
Yeah.
from the inquiry to the booking to the whole planning process. you
Yes,
know,
that's true.
We've definitely seen that.
You know,
trend.
you
Yeah.
also know, like you said, that the whole coming up last minute and then giving you those songs and stuff. And it's also, for me, one other thing is when the guests start requesting. So I always check with the host that, okay, do you want me to take requests from your guests or not? And most of the time I try to sway their, and they're like, what do you think? I'm like, I think it's better if you say no, because then everybody start, and that has happened so many times.
The rule that I have is because obviously you want to make a party vibe, right?
Of course,
and it
yeah.
takes everyone's
Yeah.
efforts
Yes.
and
Yeah.
everyone's energy. The way I take requests is like if I don't see you, like before you come to me on to request a song, you better be dancing to the previous song. on the
Yeah,
dance floor.
yeah.
If I see you on the dance floor and you're out there having fun, you're jamming along, you're helping create that vibe, you come to me, whatever's request you want, as long as it's appropriate and it's
Yep.
not something
Yeah.
completely out of the norm.
Of course.
I will definitely honor it.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
I'm sure you guys have had someone like I've had. Sometimes you have these ladies who are just sitting in a corner
Right.
while the dance floor is going crazy, and then they'll come up and they'd be like, play the song, and you in a while may think that, okay, I'll play a song so she can dance too. and then she doesn't dance, or she'd come up and be like, "Can you play something good?"
Yep.
And you're like, "What do you think is happening on the dance floor over there? What do you think I'm playing over there?
Yeah.
I am playing that song.
Everyone
Oh
else
my
is
god,
dancing. Yeah.
it's crazy." How do you guys see this as? I mean, I as a future, if I may say, like this career as a future, for how long do you think? Do you think it has a retirement age? Do you think, I mean, we do have a few DJs amongst us who are, much older and they're, should we name them?
Well,
We didn't say Scoop at all. We didn't say
Scoop is OG.
Scoop is
Massive respect to
OG,
him.
man. Scoop is
Definitely,
OG
yeah,
now.
yeah. I think
Scoop,
an-
we love you, man.
we
Scoop's
love
my
you.
Oh, yeah.
mentor. Scoop's the one who's taught me
Yeah.
so
oh,
much.
100%.
So yeah.
He's my mentor too.
Yeah,
So he's
yeah.
definitely, yeah.
DJ, Yogi, and a couple of these guys, I think they
Scoop,
have,
I'm pulling your leg
Yeah.
because you didn't
He didn't
come here
reply.
today. You didn't reply. So this is why I'm doing this. But no.
So let's go back to the question.
let's go back to
Scoop
the
too old
question,
for
yeah.
DJing.
No. I'll start with this one because I think I'm like the most.
Yeah, but
senior
do
in
you
this
think
room,
there's a
right? So-
retirement age for DJs?
That's a great question. You know what the thing is? We look around and we've done events all around America, right? And we still see some of the DJs that are like in their 60s now
Yeah,
that are
yeah.
still doing stuff. And I'm like, man, that's amazing. I mean, honestly, I'll be honest with you guys. I didn't think I would be DJing at this age right now that I am. I'm in my 40s, right? I tried to retire a couple of times, honestly, right? So it's one of those things. It's like I feel like if you're still passionate about it, if you're still on top of your game, you can keep this industry going
can
for
keep
as long
going.
as you want.
True, true.
I think it all comes down to your performance. It all comes down to being professional, and as long as you're doing your job properly, people will still be booking you.
Yeah,
so
no,
bottom
no,
line,
absolutely.
age does not matter.
Yeah,
is,
no,
for
I
sure.
think not even just mainstream. I think even in Bollywood, like we still see DJs like Akil is still DJing,
definitely.
right? I'm not sure how old he is, but he's definitely I think 50 plus,
Right.
And he's still
So again,
DJing.
it comes down to the art of it, right? Because like if you are a good artist, if you like, there's some DJs that are really old, but then once you watch them perform, like it's amazing.
Yes,
performance.
For sure.
Yeah, true.
And then so that's
You see,
one.
Bali Sagu is still
Yeah.
DJing.
Yeah, he's
Like,
still
he's
dancing.
still, he's touring and stuff.
He's
You
got
know,
to be in his 60s for
he
sure.
has to
Yeah.
be,
And again, another thing I think is generational too. So like, say if I grew in the '90s or if I grew up in the 2000s, right?
Yeah.
If I have a DJ from that era, like they can relate to your taste of music a lot
Yeah.
more. So especially
Right.
for weddings, a lot of people they want to hear the music. Not just hear the music, but kind of like get it mixed up and like a proper vibe of that
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
From the generation that they grew up in.
Yeah.
True.
So that
Experience
makes-
experience is definitely key. But one thing is that right now with technology and everything, it's the easiest time to become a DJ.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's
true.
why you see so many people doing this now because
I
you know,
agree and disagree at the same time. In my
Well, I would say in the sense of back in the days, we had to carry our CD players. We had to carry CD decks
True,
and
true.
cases of CDs, tapes and stuff like that. Nowadays and records and stuff like that. I never really spun with records, but I used to help Scoop carry these crates into the club.
CD
you know?
cases
yeah,
and
all that stuff.
all of that.
And
Yeah.
now you
Yeah.
walk
You
in
can
with your
take-
laptop and you
I
have
still
your
do
program.
have box of CDs though.
There you go. See,
Yeah.
you gotta keep it just for
No,
all
I just
senses.
have them. I just can't seem to get rid
Exactly.
of them. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
I don't think
It's-
you should. I think
Yeah.
you should keep them.
Right? You
Yeah.
never know.
Definitely.
Maybe they'll bring me money. But I don't know.
It got easier. The whole like playing the track or playing the record part of it got easier. But then the art of like mixing music and like the selection and all that stuff it's actually got more complicated. The fact that it got easier, people think all you do is just press play. They kind
Yeah,
of forget
true,
about
true.
the other
That's
parts
true.
of it.
The
That's true.
skills
Yeah.
Definitely.
that are related. What about your children? Anyone showing interest in being a DJ?
Yes. So
Yes?
In my house right now, we have like different percussion sets. We got a keyboard, we have guitars, we have a DJ set.
Nice.
So my boys, I'm kind of getting them involved in pretty much everything, just to see like what kind of sticks. I'm
Yeah,
throwing everything
and
at
once
them.
they grow up, they'll figure out. What
I
about
even
your
got
girls?
one of those bacha party dolls from
There
him.
you go.
No
There you go.
way!
Yes,
Oh
yes,
wow,
yes,
nice,
yes.
nice. What
Definitely,
about your
definitely.
girls?
Yeah,
Are they-
100%. Yeah, my daughter Soraya is 7, right?
Yeah,
And
mashallah,
honestly,
yeah.
I was like never like I'm gonna push her to do this or all that, but she just like naturally had this amazing talent with her singing as well, right?
Nice.
And then so we do a lot of karaoke and stuff like that. She does piano. Honestly, like some of the things that she does, just like it was way better than I was at that age, or
Nice.
even like when I was in my teens, right? So I think the musical I guess, gene just kind of gets passed down.
Yeah.
And if they choose to do something with it, it can definitely be better than, we always want better for our kids than what we have, right?
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
I think, in my situation, I'm so happy to see like it is kind of happening naturally. She definitely has an interest in it. So I don't know about DJing specifically, but something musically, I really want to develop like definitely her voice and being able to like perform in front of people.
Hey,
So
you never
definitely.
know, right? You
100%.
never know how things take
Yeah.
a turn and
Yeah.
stuff. I never thought I was going to be a DJ
Exactly.
in my wildest dreams. I
Yep.
still remember when the first time I was like, it was Yogi and Sandeep who first mentioned,
Right.
and I was like, but I have a daughter. And they're like, yeah, so
Who cares?
like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
because you have these like
Yes.
assumptions in your
Yes.
head, and you're
Yes.
like, whatever. But yeah, who knew that this was gonna change? How do you see, and I know you said that there's no retirement age and stuff. Wait, I just realized I didn't ask you. You are not just into this industry. There are other businesses that you do as well, right?
So,
what else do you do?
like,
I just remembered. I'm like, wait, we never
I
got to
have
that.
other investment stuff that I do, like basically on the side. But my main thing that I spend my time on, like physically, that I'm doing, is the whole. Because honestly, like I mentioned earlier, it takes a whole lot more than people think.
Yeah,
definitely.
it's not just
Like,
showing up and playing
yeah,
music.
so like past
Yeah.
couple of weekends, I had like 3-4 events each weekend. So I normally take Mondays and Tuesdays off just
Yeah.
to kind of like get back to like
Sure.
reality.
Yeah.
Catch up on sleep and everything. And then Wednesday, Thursdays is spent meeting with clients, going over the itineraries and everything. And then starting from Friday, you're back at doing events. So by
Yeah.
the time you set up, do events, break down, your weekend goes by like this.
True,
So,
true.
I do other stuff on the sides. I do a lot of investment and stuff like that. Have a investment property as well. But majority of my time actually goes into like the wedding industry.
Right.
So, do you guys think that for those who are watching us right now and maybe aspire to be a DJ or get into this industry, do you think we can recommend them that this can be their only profession and they can run their homes with it? Or do you think it's always better to have something else as well? What do you guys think?
I'll start with that. I think it's great to diversify, right? It's great to have. I would say this. I would say start this journey while having something as a backup or a side hustle, right?
Yeah.
That would be my suggestion for everyone who's young and starting. Definitely, first of all, focus on school. Try to do your college degree. Have that as a backup, right? But if this is something you want to do it on the side. See and keep hustling and keep building in all aspects of your life. But if this is something that works out, then keep going at it, right? But I think it's all about just being consistent and. I think definitely diversifying for sure. It's very tricky. I think people who kind of jump into this and just do this full time and don't have anything else, and they don't really have the proper direction and dedication, they might not make it very long, right? Because let's say they start, they're not making the money that they need, then they're struggling, they're going to have to find something else to do,
True.
and then they might just get discouraged, right?
True.
So I think having something as a backup when you're starting is definitely the way to go.
You're on the
Yeah,
same
one,
page?
one thing I want to emphasize on, the struggle is very, very real.
100%.
Yeah.
Very,
100%.
very
True,
real. And
true.
especially starting off, I don't think it's something you can live off of.
Yeah.
When you're starting off.
Definitely.
For a
Yeah.
couple of years, you definitely need to have something else on the side. But then as long as you're persistent, you keep on improving your skills, you keep on, you have to be focused on it. That's one thing you cannot just get
100%.
in it and do it for a little bit and expect everything to happen overnight.
Yes.
And maybe diversify into production
You
or
definitely have
yeah.
to. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's a general rule
Yeah.
for life. You have to be diversified
Yeah,
in
true.
everything that you do.
Going on what you just said right now, Tamim, I think is such a big
Yeah.
issue right now, especially with the younger kids. They want overnight success.
Yeah.
Okay,
True.
guys,
Yeah.
we need to put in the time and the effort.
Yeah.
Years of work and hard work is going to get you where you want to be. But a lot of people come into this. And you know what? Honestly, in the sense of what I was saying earlier, it's easier than ever. We have so many tools these days that we didn't have back in the days. You have social media, and so many people have blown up just because of social media,
Yeah,
right?
true.
They might not necessarily have as much talent as some other people have, but just because their social media following, the stuff that they're putting out, the content, they're making it to another level. They're getting paid more and all that stuff. So everyone's on their own journey, right? But definitely don't expect overnight success.
Yeah.
Put in some time, put in the work. I see a lot of people who just kind of come in and they start and they just want the same success that someone else who's been doing this for several years. And they're like, why am I not getting that right now?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, put in the time, put in the effort. You'll get there, but you need to see it through.
No, absolutely. I totally agree with both of them. And for all the girls who are watching, and I get this a lot too, and sometimes, and I always say this, I'm so surprised that in all these years of I being a DJ, there has not been a single another Desi female.
Definitely.
I'm like, what? Did this not inspire anyone? Does anyone not want to do this, or what do people? And I feel it's got a lot to do with the society as well,
100%.
and,
I was,
and then people.
talking about this with my sons like over the weekend, like we were setting up their pianos and all that stuff, and I was like, all right, so before you get to actually playing, you have to go get that from the garage, get the wire from here, get that from there, hook it up here. So people forget, they don't realize that there's a lot more that goes way before you get behind the
Oh,
DJ
absolutely.
booth and start DJing.
So it's not just about, again, like ladies, it's not just about, looking pretty and just showing up. You still got to do the work. You got to make sure that people are happy, whether you're DJing at a club or a private party or a wedding. Even at a wedding, you need to make sure that you're good to go. The other thing is, ऐसा भी वक्त आया कि मैंने खुद, I didn't have help, और speakers उठा के and you know like sub tape किया, and I've reached a venue like hours ago और खुद ही पूरा tape up करके sound लगाया. You've done all of that, so you have to do the work to get to
and another thing
that
that I wanted to
popularity.
point out, so like I mentioned earlier to BJ, like the fact that technology made it easier, it kind of made it harder as well, because now people have a completely wrong idea of what DJing is.
That's
true.
Especially Instagram. Like the other day, I was watching a video of this guy. He pressed play, and then he started dancing for like 30 seconds. That video had like I don't know how many thousands of likes and views.
Yes.
And I was like, that's not DJing. That's just literally, you could have done that with
There-
an iPad or a phone as
There are
well.
a lot of out there, and also certain DJs think that they need to put out bangers after bangers
So-
after bangers, and you're like, no, you need
So
to take time out,
in reality,
and you know.
so if you bring Scoop, for example, right? All right, he's aged it a little bit. If you put Scoop next to any of these DJs, Scoop will smoke them out in a heartbeat. Because once he starts getting into the actual art of what DJing is,
True.
Like honestly, like even like now, I've known him for years. Same thing with BJ. I remember one time I was playing Dole with him, and he was DJing, and I just stopped. And I was just staring at like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Because once you start getting into everything else that goes into it. I think technology kind of made it easier, but at the same time, it made it a whole lot harder to grasp the art part of.
No,
what-
absolutely,
No.
absolutely. And it's just how everything flows. And you need to, like I said, it's not just about also putting out just hit after hit after hit. You need to understand the whole concept of, you know, giving people a break on the dance floor. And there's a lot, okay? We're not here teaching DJing 101. That's not what this is about. But just a little conversation here. Well, I guess it's time for us to wrap it up because we can go on. But
5 o'clock
our
already. Wow.
time's up.
Yeah.
So we're going to wrap it up. But I want to thank both of you for being here today. And I kind of feel formal saying being my guest, but whatever. No, you guys had to be here. No, I really want to thank both of you for being here. I hope you all enjoyed it. And just wanted to put out a little, info and just kind of help people understand the work that especially both of you do. Like I said, both of you are fathers and of beautiful children. We've got 5 kids between the two of you, mashallah, and other work and businesses, and then having a career and being very well known, very, like I said, very renowned and popular DJs here in the city, in Houston, in Texas, actually. In fact, you both even fly down to different states to DJ for different events, and I think it's commendable. So I wanted you all to come and talk about your journey. And जैसा कि मैं कहती हूँ, कहने की कहानी होती है, और I hope कि आज इन दोनों की कहानी सुन के someone somewhere out there is inspired that you can still do it, but what's important is focus.
Definitely.
Yeah?
Definitely.
You guys want to say something to the viewers here? Anything?
Yeah, definitely. I just wanted to say that, not only where we are today, but I think everyone, just as entrepreneurs, have to respect the journey from the beginning, right? A lot of people have stuff that's just handed to them and they become successful. But I truly respect a lot of people who started with nothing and made something out of themselves from the bottom, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's all of us in this room right now. I think we all kind of made something out of nothing, and we started from one place and now we are where we're at. But it's all because of hard work. It's all because of consistency over the years. And Sam, I mean, hats off to you. I think, being one of the first female DJs and, in that realm, I think you have inspired a lot of people. Yeah. But I think at the same time, a lot of the societal issues have stopped people from
Pursuing
stopped
this,
females from pursuing it and being where they want to be. But 100% you've inspired people. I think, we all have. So
Thank
hats off
you.
to-
Thank
hats
you
off
so
to
much. Thanks, BJ. Thanks for coming.
And same here. I
Yeah.
second everything that BJ said. Anything, like my mom always says, comes easy, goes easy.
Yeah,
If you want something to stick, you have to work hard for it, and you have to be persistent and do it over, a certain amount of time. And again, thank you, Samia.
Thank
Everyone, make sure
you.
you like, subscribe to this channel. right
Yes,
here.
absolutely.
And,
And then we will, of course, you guys will see their handles, their social media handles. So do follow them as well, and me. Thank you so much, guys. Until next time, don't forget to subscribe. This is Samia signing off.
Peace.